Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the Cleveland Browns this season, you know it's been a roller coaster. After 3 weeks of action, the Browns finally managed to get that elusive first victory, but let's be honest, it wasn't exactly a showcase of offensive firepower. They beat the Green Bay Packers in Week 3, but the way they did it left many fans and analysts wondering about the true state of this team's offensive capabilities. Cleveland managed to score only 13 points in that game, and interestingly enough, none of those points came until the final minutes, when a late interception return by safety Grant Delpit sealed the deal. Up until that point, it was a struggle. The offense, despite the win, continues to be a significant concern. Throughout the first 3 weeks, Cleveland's offense has been painfully inconsistent, averaging just over 14 points per game. That's a number that simply won't cut it in today's NFL if the team aspires to be serious contenders. And what's more, they've yet to score more than 17 points in any game. You look at that and realize that something needs to change, whether that's schematic adjustments, personnel, or even a quarterback switch. But at least for now, head coach Kevin Stefanski remains committed to Joe Flacco as the starting quarterback. Despite the struggles, he's sticking with Flacco for the upcoming Week 4 road game against the Detroit Lions. That decision might be questioned by some, especially considering the team's offensive stagnation, but Stefanski seems to have faith in Flacco's experience and leadership, hoping that perhaps a change under center could spark some life into the Browns' attack. However, it's no secret that the Browns are exploring options to inject some dynamism into their offense. They're aware that their passing game has been virtually non-existent. Producing just 3 touchdowns over 3 weeks is frankly embarrassing for a team with aspirations of competing deep into the playoffs. So naturally, they're looking to add players who can make an immediate impact or at least provide some hope for the future. One move that signals this direction came on Tuesday, September 23, when Cleveland signed rookie wide receiver Luke Floria to their practice squad. This isn't a blockbuster move, but it's a sign that the Browns are trying to build some youth and depth at the receiver position. Floria, a 23-year-old out of Kent State, was originally signed as an undrafted free agent earlier this year, and now he's back with the team, wearing number 81. Floria's background isn't filled with NFL stardom, but he's a player worth watching. He played 5 years at Kent State, amassing over 300 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns on 100 receptions. His best season came recently in 2024, when he caught 44 passes for 699 yards and 7 touchdowns. While he's not a player who will immediately turn the Browns' offense around, he represents a youth movement that Cleveland seems to be embracing as they look toward the future. It's about trying to find some hidden gems, develop talent, and maybe, just maybe, find a spark in the passing game. Now, let's talk about some of the bright spots from the recent game and the season so far. One player who really stepped up against the Packers was running back Quinshon Judkins. He had a breakout performance, rushing 18 times for 94 yards and a touchdown, plus catching a pass during the game. Judkins has shown flashes of what he can do and might be a key piece for the Browns moving forward. His ability to run between the tackles and make plays in the open field makes him an intriguing option in Cleveland's backfield. Then there's tight end Harold Fannin Jr., who's been quietly making a name for himself. Through 3 games, he's caught 15 passes on 18 targets for 136 yards, which is remarkable considering the Browns' struggles at the receiver position overall. Fannin has been targeted just as much as veteran David Njoku, who has 18 targets and 12 catches for 117 yards. That's a sign that Flacco has been looking his way frequently, perhaps trusting his hands and route running ability more than others. Speaking of the defense, Cleveland's unit continues to be a bright spot. Mason Graham, the rookie defensive tackle, has been impressive, ranking 63rd out of 169 qualifying interior defensive linemen, according to Pro Football Focus. That's a solid start for a rookie adjusting to the NFL's physicality and speed. Graham's ability to disrupt plays up front is crucial for the Browns' defensive success. On the linebacking core, Carson Schwessinger is making his presence felt. He's ranked 18th among 123 qualifying linebackers, excelling in run defense, pass rush, and coverage. His versatility and consistency give the Browns a dependable presence on that second level of the defense. Now, when we look at the roster's overall composition, it becomes clear that Cleveland is in a bit of a transitional phase. The team is relatively young, especially at the wide receiver position, which is arguably the weakest area on the roster. Fannon's emergence is promising, but beyond him and Njoku, no receiver is averaging 4 or more receptions per game. Jerry Jeudy, the team's primary wideout, has only managed to produce 100 yards through 3 games, slightly less than Fannon's total. Cedric Tillman is the only other receiver to reach triple digits in yards, with exactly 100. The lack of consistent playmakers at wide receiver remains a glaring issue, and it's one that could force the coaching staff to get creative in the coming weeks. Floria, for instance, could eventually become part of the rotation if he impresses during practice and opportunities arise due to injury or poor performance from current starters. This brings us to the bigger picture. The Browns are still trying to figure out their identity on offense. With Flacco at quarterback, they're relying heavily on a ground game led by Judkins, and tight ends like Njoku and Fannon are trying to be safety valves in the passing game. But it's clear that the team needs more explosiveness, more consistency, and more options in the passing attack. The coaching staff has to consider whether a different quarterback might unlock that potential, or whether they need to bring in more weapons. Young, hungry receivers like Floria, for example, or perhaps even making a move in the trade market down the line. And let's not forget that the Browns' defense has been a backbone, holding opponents in check and creating scoring opportunities, even if the offense hasn't been firing on all cylinders. Mason Graham and Carson Schwessinger have been instrumental in that regard. Their ability to step up in key moments gives Cleveland a foundation to build on, even if the offense is still trying to find its rhythm. Overall, what we're seeing is a team that's still in the process of figuring things out. The 2024 season is shaping up to be one of transition, with young players getting valuable experience and veteran leadership trying to keep everything steady. The Browns have shown resilience, managing to secure that first win, but the road ahead is tough. They face some challenging opponents, and without a more explosive offense, they'll need their defense to carry them. The addition of Floria and other young players hints at a long-term vision, but the immediate goal remains clear: improve offensively, find rhythm, and get more production from their pass catchers. The AFC North is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Ravens and Bengals making noise, and the Steelers always lurking in the shadows. For Cleveland, the key to staying relevant is not just about the talent, but also about execution, strategy, and perhaps a little bit of luck. If Flacco can find a rhythm, and players like Judkins, Fannon, and possibly Floria can step up, the Browns could surprise some people. But if the offense continues to struggle, it might be a long season of close games and missed opportunities. That's why every little move matters, and why the Browns are paying close attention to every detail, every snap, and every play. So, as we look ahead to the upcoming games, keep an eye on how Cleveland's offense evolves. They stick with Flacco or consider change? Will young players like Floria get more involved? Can Judkins continue his breakout and become a staple in their rushing attack? And most importantly, can the defense keep playing at this high level? Because while the offense might still be finding its footing, the Browns' defense is definitely giving them a fighting chance. That's the kind of resilience this team needs to make a real push later in the season. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Thanks for sticking with us, for sharing your passion, and for being part of this incredible Browns family. Remember, every game, every play, every moment counts. And together, we can keep building that excitement, that hope, and that belief that our Browns can reach new heights. The journey is just beginning, and with your support, we're in this together. So, until the next update, keep those jerseys ready, keep cheering loud, and let's go Browns.